We're here, Used Car Week.
Yeah, we're at Used Car Week 2023. Mike Trudeau, Montway. What's your title at Montway?
I am the Executive Vice President of Business Development.
Ooh, okay. So what does that look like? Tell us more.
So my role is to really lead our sales team and work with our operations team. So underneath me, we have our field sales team. We have our inside sales team that calls direct to dealers. Our field sales team goes out, visit dealerships, financial institutions, etc. And then we have an account services team that really takes care of the day-to-day monitoring of our orders, make sure our communication is good with our customers, and make sure that we're delivering 5-star service.
Okay, so managing several teams, among other things.
Mm-hmm.
So because you have Montway has a large nationwide, it's nationwide, right? Is it beyond? Are you global yet?
We are not global yet.
Okay, that's on the map though, right?
We'll see.
Right?
We'll see.
All right, good. There's plenty to do in the U.S.
Yes.
Okay, so, all right, so you have many teams, large business development teams, right? Okay, so we could go many directions. You've got, Auction Edge Pipeline. Tell us more about that. When I say that, what am I talking about?
So for us, we went into a partnership with Auction Edge, specifically on Pipeline as one of their products. And when dealers buy online on Pipeline, they can go to the My Transportation page after they purchase the vehicles. They'll have an instant quote, and they can choose to book. And then we have it set up where they can apply for they could do billing terms with us.
Right.
So they're not necessarily having to pay the transport bill until the car gets delivered. So
right.
So it just makes it an easier way, and hopefully, ideally, both for the pipeline auctions, it opens up that dealer base, because now those dealers, as they're looking for inventory, now have a transportation way to buy anywhere out of the 100 plus pipeline dealers that have inventory.
100 plus, right? Okay, so it would take a large operation to manage all that and handle that volume, and that's Montway.
That's Montway.
That's right. Okay, so is that a year old, 2 years old announcement?
We're probably about.
Is that recent?
We're about 6 months into it.
Okay.
And it's going well.
Right.
It's just a matter of just getting the word out, and dealers really getting used to when they're in their pipeline, going to that My Transportation page.
Right.
And knowing that option's there for them.
Right. What was there before?
Before they had to arrange their own transportation.
Okay, so here they can do it as part of the suite of services offered in Pipeline, which is a go-to.
Yep.
Right? So this is awesome.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially now when you look at where dealers have to look at all different places to source cars just because of where inventory levels are at. And maybe they have the same carrier that's been bringing that car back to them, from the same auction they've been buying at, but he might not run. You could be a dealer in Texas looking to buy in West Virginia, and
you don't know anybody in that area.
You don't know anyone in that area, but now you'll get an instant quote, and you can book right through the My Transportation page.
So you're not only saving time searching for a transporter, but you can hit the button, and this is Montway, who's been in business for how long?
Since 2006.
Okay, right. I think I saw recently, just moved 2 million delivered?
Yep. I think it was, we just had our 1 millionth delivered car.
1 millionth? Mm-hmm. That's a lot of cars.
It is a lot of cars.
And in that, historically, it's been a lot of POV, right?
Yes.
Privately owned vehicles. Tell me more about that, like different markets you serve.
Sure. So, Montway was, when it was founded in 2006, we're founded by an entrepreneur, Mike Mihailoff, and, he did a fantastic job really trying to figure out how to consolidate, the POV quote-unquote market, because it used to be just lead aggregators, and as a consumer, you would put your information in, and you'd have 10 to 12 different carriers calling you. So he just designed our website to really be able to give the person a real-time quote, book the order, get the car delivered, and we did that for a long time, and then back about 5 years ago, we not that they weren't doing B2B business, they had some good business in the moving and relocation area. we decided to really make a concentrated effort to start to get into more of the dealership business, large financial consigners, the repossession business.
Right. Okay.
And so now it's full frontal in all the different verticals.
Is it all used vehicles that Montway moves?
We do move some new cars,
Some
but
new.
would love to get more into new cars,
Right,
of course, right?
right.
But our primary in the B2B world, our primary business right now is the used car market.
Right, and so you mentioned POV. You did say repossession. Auction, dealer. What verticals am I missing?
Rental.
Rental.
The,
Right.
The fleet
Defleeting.
management. The fleet management companies as well.
Right. Okay. So, all right. So Auction Edge. That's big news. Is there other milestones we should have touched upon, like Auction Edge?
I think everyone right now in our space is really concentrating on technology and
Yeah. Right. Okay. Thank you.
digitizing the transportation process. And I mean, today we're doing over 1,000 orders a month through our Montway automation portal.
Right.
Where dealers have
MAP.
access. Yep. MAP. Yep. You got it.
Okay. All right.
So dealers today have the ability to go in, get a lifetime quote. They can book their transportation. It's sent right to us. They get their live status updates. If the carrier so happens to leave their location services on, you can get GPS tracking as well. But the status updates update automatically as well. So, I mean, you really can get in and see exactly where your car is at when you have your estimated ETA and get it back to your store.
Because large businesses are looking for a dashboard that tells them what they need to know. That's right.
Yeah, large businesses, sure, without a doubt.
Any
But
business.
but really, I mean, even the dealership that's the single store owner as well. I mean, just to have that visibility. I mean, they're selling cars, and I mean, sometimes that car they bought at the auction they already have sold, and if they can give the customer, an expectation and keep the customer going in the sales process and keep the customer updated, odds are they're not going to lose the sale, and then they get to have that visibility. But I mean, to your point on the dashboards, I mean, I think for a long time when you look at, transportation, it's always been in the car deal, right?
Right.
It's unfortunately, it's the expense. It's a pure expense that dealerships incur. There really isn't much revenue to be made on getting a car transported back to your lot for a dealership at all.
Right.
So I mean, for us, it's having that parent-child dashboard for like multi-rooftops, which is another big thing that's coming out into the marketplace. Is that you can have your main store or your main corporate ID, and then each store underneath. So if you have a buyer that's buying at 5 different stores, he can log into his portal, log into store 1. Those are the cars going to store 1. Log into store 2. Those are the cars going to store 2. Log
Right.
into store 3, etc. Right?
Yeah.
So it helps keep them organized. And then the next phase is to have that roll-up dash. So when you're a controller or a fixed ops person at a dealership, or even the used car manager, and you want to look at your expenses, you can see each store. What is the rate per mile they're paying? What is the average distance that they're hauling? And really take a look at, what is the transportation cost truly? And is there ways that I can fix that? Is there ways, maybe different areas to buy in to lower my costs? Maybe, this store's having more success here, buying these cars here and making more front end on those. And the transportation isn't that much more than where this store is buying. So
Right.
just giving them that visibility from like a fixed ops standpoint,
Yeah.
and really controlling their transportation costs is going to be huge for them to help manage their business and control that expense. And ideally, the other thing is holding us accountable, right? As a third-party logistics, broker, is how quick are we getting it to them? Are we really reducing their cycle time? Because I mean, ultimately, if they can go to their service department and say, hey, I've got 10 cars coming in. I got 3 coming in on Tuesday, 4 coming in on Wednesday, and 2 more coming on the next, Thursday. Can they get those slots reserved in that service department?
Right.
And then get that car on the lot quicker. Whereas today, today they might not know when those cars are coming in.
How do you schedule that?
So
That's right.
so I think the technology piece is huge, when it comes to that. But and then all of us have some type of technology. I mean, you know all of the transportation people in the space, and we all have some different technology. I think for us, really, it's our account services team. So
I was just going to say, then people sit with the analytics.
Yep. So our account services team gets assigned to those dealerships, and I mean, really, it's about clear, concise communication, making sure that that the customer's service levels are in line with what our performance is, making sure we have that relationship with the customer, and making sure that we're held accountable to deliver what we said that we did. And I mean, the technology is a tool, and it's like a vehicle, but ultimately it comes down to the execution and what kind of 5-star service that we're going to give, and that's where we've really had some success over the past couple of years, is really developing a service team that really believes in taking care of the customer.
Right, because that is what it takes teams to do that.
Yes.
That's a lot of time, legwork, sitting down with them, because you can have data overload, and now what do we do with all this data?
Yep, absolutely.
Right, yeah, that's right. That's perfect. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, so we talked about the portal, we talked about Auction Edge. Are there any other topics that we need to make sure we cover?
I think probably the last one, which is really important just in general to, the transportation and logistics is that, we need to see more of the multi-vendor platforms, whether it's our sister company, Ship.Cars, or it's a different company. As the dealership groups and larger customers, they're not going to want to put all their eggs in one transportation company's basket, right? But we keep asking them to use MAP, use this company's portal, use this company's portal. We just need to have that multi-vendor platform that we all can connect into and really have success. Like Shipcars has with their LoadMate Pro, and I know some of our other competitors have similar type kind of products as well.
Right.
But I think that multi-vendor, because the other thing that the multi-vendor platforms can eventually solve is, we talk about our drivers, all the drivers out there, and if any drivers are listening, I just thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
We appreciate what we do.
Yeah.
But is that hey, we want you to use this app, and we want you to use this app, and next thing the poor guy's got 12 apps.
That's happened already. Yeah. It's out there.
And if we could just get a multi-vendor platforms to really just tie into each app, so the drivers can frankly use the app that they're most comfortable using, and that's okay, right? They can use the app that they're most comfortable using.
They should be able to.
You're right, they should.
Yeah,
right?
they should.
And
their job is to pick up and deliver cars.
And with APIs, we can't. That technology exists to do.
Correct.
To do it.
That's right. We have the adapters.
And we have to make the movement to be willing to have API integrations, and whether it's a competitor of mine or a competitor needs to come into Ship.Cars system. At the end of the day, it's about making the job for the driver easier on one end, because that's one of our important customers, are those carriers, and then our end customer. And how do we link the two to try to make sure that the process is seamless?
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's what you've seen, and you've seen that in the freight industry.
Yeah.
And we're coming close to getting there, but we're not there yet. And that's where we need to get to, because I mean, it just would be a lot easier.
Well, it's smart of us, I think, in auto transport to pay attention to the freight industry, to see that as a future that we'll end up at. Do you think then that, without spilling any secrets, do you think that larger companies are talking to each other about this solution of finding a way where a carrier can use the app they want to use?
I think I don't know if it's quite there yet, but I think the conversations are probably pretty close to getting ready to get started.
Right.
Because I think I mean, obviously, I know a lot of our competitors. I mean, we talk.
Right.
And
they're here. We're in the expo hall. Yeah.
Yep. And I think we all know that. Hey, we got to get to that point. I mean, the car haul industry is. I mean, there's millions and millions of cars out there to move, and no one has double-digit market share.
Which is fascinating.
And so,
Wow.
I mean,
I'd love to see that pie.
Yeah, so, I mean, no one has double-digit market share that
Wow.
I know of, and if someone does, congratulations.
That's amazing.
But it's
Wow.
really fragmented, and customer expectations are changing, and we know that, and that's why it's getting to that point. It's getting to the point that, hey, we've got to do some things differently from just a technology standpoint, from a process standpoint. I mean, we just got to do things. So we got to figure it out.
Well said. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. It's 15 minutes on the clock, but it felt like it went fast, but also, I feel like we covered a lot. I don't think we've ever actually sat down like this before. So this was great.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for watching our live coverage at Used Car Week. We're in the Expo Hall with Mike Trudeau of Montway Auto Transport. We'll see you next time on ATI. Thank you so much.